Oh, the dreaded leg day. It's something that we all hate doing, but it's something that we all know we need to do. In this video, I'm going to share with you some things that might make you consider not skipping leg day ever again. If you want to learn how to build some muscle and how to lose body fat, then subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you click the bell as well, YouTube will then notify you every time I upload a new video on Mondays and Thursdays. I've done years and years of leg days, so I know exactly how bad it feels and how much your legs hurt the next day. The current routine that I use is actually 3 days per week, full body workouts, which have been proven to be better for growth anyway, but we can talk about that in another video. So when it comes to training legs and skipping leg day, there are two big reasons why people skip leg day. Reason number one is because you can't see the legs. The upper body is very visible. People like to wear tighter shirts and things like that, which show your arms, your shoulders, your chest off, all of those fun muscle groups to train. But when you see the legs, you're often wearing jeans and things like that, joggers even sometimes, and people don't see your legs, so you can't even tell that you have skinny legs. That's the number one reason that people skip leg day. Number two reason that people skip leg day is because it's painful. Training chest and arms and things like that are fun. Training legs are not fun. It's very taxing on the body. You feel out of breath, you feel really taxed and drained after doing a big leg day, and people don't want that type of pain. So the first reason to start training legs is actually muscle imbalances. So if you start training the chest, the back, the shoulders, all those muscle groups are going to get bigger, and especially the shoulders and the back are going to start getting wider and wider the more and more years that you train. So the first few years you might not notice that your legs look skinny, but let's say you're training for 3, 4, 5 years, you're in this for the long haul, it's a long-term goal for you. You're going to start to notice that the upper body is getting wider and wider and bigger. The legs are still thin, and people will notice it. Even you will notice it. Even if you're wearing jeans, you won't be able to cover up the fact that you have thin, skinny legs. So that's why I think it's important to train legs. You don't want to be walking around with a big upper body and skinny little pin legs. It just doesn't look good. The challenge is that now it doesn't seem like a big deal, but once you realise it's a big deal, now you've got to try and get your legs to catch up with the rest of your body, and it's not really possible. You'll never really recover from that. If you've been training arms, chest, shoulders, back for 5 years, and then all of a sudden you start training legs, the legs will grow for sure, but they're always going to be behind those other body parts. The second reason you should never skip leg day is because you will burn more calories from training legs. So that's going to help you lose more body fat, but it's also going to allow you to eat more food. Everybody wants to eat more food, everybody loves food, but the more calories you burn, the more food you can eat without getting fat. You have to realise how big the legs are. There's around 50 muscles in the legs, and you factor in the big three, the hamstrings, the quads and the glutes. When you have all those three massive muscles working, it's going to require a lot of calories working those muscles. Benefit number 3 to never skipping leg day is that you will actually build more muscle in your whole body by training legs. The reason this happens is because it's such a big muscle, it causes a response in the body. You will also have a small increase in testosterone and an increase in protein synthesis. Those two things are going to help you build muscle in the rest of your body. So in theory, by training your legs, you're actually then helping yourself to build bigger arms, helping yourself to build bigger shoulders. The body will not get too far out of proportion. You can definitely get out of proportion, but if you're someone that's training naturally, which I assume that most of you are, then your body genetically won't even let you grow so far without being in somewhat proportion. Another very big deal, and this is from coach to student, I need you to listen in. If you're a beginner, you probably shouldn't be under a barbell anyway. And this is the issue that a lot of people have. They see people on YouTube, your favourite YouTubers, squatting heavy weight, deadlifting heavy weight, and that's good, but those people often are taking steroids, and second of all, even when they're not taking steroids, they're experienced advanced lifters. They're people that's been training for 5-10 years who have perfected their form, perfected the movement, and they've been increasing their weight ever since. Most of you are not in that position. Don't put pressure on yourself to start getting under a heavy barbell. Not only is it bad advice to start out that way, it's also dangerous. I recommend getting a feel for the squats by doing a body weight squat. Just use your body weight and think about your form, think about your depth on the squat, and just constantly keep looking at your form, improving your form. The good thing is you can do body weight squats at home, so you can always film yourself as well, look back at the video and improve that form, look at YouTube videos. Spend maybe a month, 2 months just doing body weight squats. You can add weight by adding a bag to your back. You can do loads of different things, but it's going to be a lot more safe while you learn that form for that first few months. Then at that point you can slowly start adding weight to a bar. Once your form is almost perfect, there's really no such thing as perfect form, but as when you can get that form really close to perfect, at that point start adding some weight to the bar. Don't add a lot of weight to the bar. Don't try and max out or go for 5 reps, that sort of range. I want you to be going more in the 12 to 15 range, 10 to 12 range at the max, something like that, just so that you can slowly get used to the weight, and as the months progress you can slowly add more and more weight until you're comfortable with the lift. Another thing, if you're a beginner, to close out with is don't feel embarrassed about the amount of weight that you can lift, for 2 reasons. One, the biggest guy in the gym, whoever is in your gym, also started out lifting no weight or very little weight. So everyone starts somewhere. The second thing is most people aren't watching you in the gym anyway. They're too busy focusing on their own workouts. And not to mention, if somebody is ridiculing you or taking the piss out of you for trying to improve yourself, it shows to me a lot about that person and what type of person they are. And why would you even take into consideration somebody else's opinion of you, especially when it's somebody like that? So the bottom line when it comes to skipping leg days, everybody can choose the way their physique looks. The problem is a lot of people want to tell you what you have to do and you have to do it their way. I don't believe in that. If you don't want to train legs, go for it. Don't train legs. I'm just telling you the benefits of them, and if you want to build an all-round physique and actually look good and look symmetrical, then you have to train legs.